widely considered one of the very best restaurants in the world. Pascaline Lepeltier. Pascaline is one of the most respected tasters. She's originally from France. She's one of the biggest supporters of the natural wine movement. She is very much what a lot of young sommeliers look up to and aspire to be. I'm also really excited to have Arvid Rosengren joining us. Arvid came here to the US from Sweden. He kind of came out of nowhere, won the best sommelier in the world competition last year in Mendoza. Everybody's like, wow, who is this guy? Lastly, we have Sarah Thomas. Sarah is a sommelier in Le Bernardin with Aldo. She is a rising star. She brings a little bit of a more fresh perspective to a tasting like this.
Those are among the best tasters there are in New York for sure, if not the country.
Mr. Wake.
Wanted to try to make this, you know, as well-rounded as possible.
Female, male, master sommeliers, non-credentialed, but that doesn't mean anything because these people are brilliant.
1 Swede, 2 French people, 3 Americans, and an Austrian.
They have a really great perspective of what the world of wine is like because they tasted Domaine de la Rome and Conti and they tasted $10 bottles of Monterey Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a chance to be a fly on the wall when amazing things are happening. You don't even realize what kind of weight they hold.
We've been a little secretive about the tasting, and that's kind of on purpose.
That's what I was saying earlier about.
We assembled this group because you guys are the best of the best. This is a blind tasting. It's all Pinot Noir, but we're not trying to assess where it's coming from or anything like that. We're not trying to guess vintages. It's not that kind of blind tasting. It's more just, I want to get honest opinions on the wines without seeing the labels and knowing where it's coming from and all this sort of jazz. We can be truly objective with the wines. At the end of this, I'm going to ask you to pick what you think are your personal top
Well, I mean,
3.
if I get the grab, I don't have to worry about her basic ABCs, so
Their
easy link, I guess.
and their tongues
She's
and their mouths
to do
have
it
been
too,
tuned.
man. Like,
A simple question like, hey, do you like it?
my girl
You're
just
not gonna get that as an
slowly, she's like,
answer.
yep, I'm coming for the hugs.
Okay, so
She wanted those hugs, bro. She was getting those hugs.
so we have all the wines decided on. We have not decided the order in which to pour these yet. So I think the way to do this is really try to be as random as possible, right? We've got a couple new world wines and a couple old world wines. There's also like kind of a pretty stark winemaking style. There's some full cluster wines, and then there's also some destemmed wines. You also don't necessarily want to launch with like the most esteemed wine. You might want to bury that somewhere in the middle.
Hey, she tried, right? She was doing her best to just, you know, she was
let's see, maybe-
behind her, thought I was going around again.
Maybe we start
Maybe
with
sometimes.
something a little unexpected. Maybe we can start with
Yeah, okay, way back
Chakra.
there. I don't think anybody's really
Chakra
touched the
is
margin,
wine
so.
1.
Yeah, have a ton of progress.
This little estate in Patagonia is making world-class Pinot
Having them all
Noir.
injured makes it
In
a
this
lot
place,
easier
you
for
would never
this,
think
because then I can
you'd even see
actually
Pinot
pull
Noir.
it out.
Initial
A lot
thoughts?
more pressure. They're gonna probably show up though.
Tasted the youngest and like, freshest, not quite integrated.
It's funny, on the nose, it smells like really stemmy or really like intense. And then there's a little heat on the nose as well, but like only when you exhale.
I'm guessing somewhere around there.
Like the finish is sweet.
Yeah, it was almost like gummy strawberry.
Yeah,
That,
so
like,
carbonic. Yeah, carbonic.
One of
I hope
them.
I'm not offending anyone that I know and respect, but it kind of feels like a wine that someone's trying to make in a really elegant style in a place where you maybe don't make the spice.
No, don't do that, Nancy.
Okay, interesting. Again, I'm listening to you guys.
I didn't hit the Dwight with the second
Again,
one, but that's okay.
It's not about being right or
There's
anything.
more
It's about
for the Nancy.
probably. I don't know. Maybe.
Can't open it.
Michael,
Although he had to stop recording.
settle down.
Spam some birds and hopefully I can connect.
So that's whole cluster,
can
New
dream,
World.
though.
Let's
Hoping
go
I'd be able to
into
clip
a destemmed Old World
Sure,
wine
so
with
spam them
the
down.
Dangerville.
Looking behind themselves and just run right into you. It's so funny when they do. Didn't even think it's yoinks.
Marquis
Yoink off
d'Angeville is
Janet-
really,
or
I
off
think,
of,
the gold
Windows
standard in
process.
Volnay. This is the producer that you want to showcase from
Maybe
Volnay.
given up. They might have maybe tried to branch out finally.
This one was the most
just
quiet
new
on the nose.
before?
And then I was surprised that it had so much tannin structure. And it was like,
Okay.
it finished really acidic, which for
Well,
me is
I mean,
Old World. And,
there's not either of these
You know, it has this like chalky minerality, but at the same time, the only thing that's throwing me off of this like Old World thing is like this sassafras, like almost like this Werther.
That's
Like it doesn't belong there, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But I like the wine. I think
I
it
won't
was.
check all of the corner, but
You know,
I
I'd want to drink it. I think it's classic.
It's very pure, it's expensive oak, very well.
Very ambitious wine. Yeah.
With a lot of polish and a lot of like.
For good or worse.
They're not injured anymore though, because they finished healing, so I'm not gonna be able to hear them. Oh, there's one of them I caught. They might both be over here though. Could be one. Could be
Everyone
both.
who's in the biz and everyone who's a serious wine enthusiast has that bottle. We all have a name for it. I call it the aha wine. There's something that happens to you when
There's no
you
way he got
taste
all the way
this
around the other
wine
loop, did he?
that changes
This
the
wall
way
here?
you see wine and changes
Really?
how you want to be involved with wine.
Oh,
It
man,
gets
he
us
got
on
in-
our
no,
path.
he got in the locker,
What are the
didn't he?
bottles
He has to be in the locker.
that
There's
got
no way.
the people that I look
He's
up
got to
to?
be the locker.
What got them into
Although if
wine?
he was, I would have killer instinct.
So, right, restaurants always set right to left. So because this is off the knife.
I guess he could be
and
in the
that's
further
your
back
angle.
corner, but
But
Except we've got the
back
small
here,
glass
but
for
I
our
doubt-
wines, which this is
you've got a
this is the
tipsy
wrong
glass.
size.
I
That needs
think
to
he
be
did just
changed.
walk off over there. I don't know if he has like
It's
60.
because I drink fast.
Oh no, he's right here. Okay, I'm blind.
I'm known as the fastest gun in the West.
I think you established that.
So I am so looking forward to tasting this wine, which is the wine that lit the flame. I think most people who end up devoting their
Distortion, I guess.
lives
Probably.
to
Well, no,
wine
distortion doesn't hide you.
seminal
Like,
level, don't
distortion would hide from like
And
one
I
reading out loud, but it
was
wouldn't hide from something.
an impoverished student at Oxford, but I had a rich boyfriend, and his father gave him slightly too much money, much of which was spent on wining and dining me. If I'd said to my Oxford
Stealthy
friends,
DeVito mode.
okay, when I graduate, I'm going to get a job in either food or wine, they would have been seriously shocked. And they would have said, what a waste of a
Oh,
good
he did the photo.
Oxford education.
Figured they might venture it, but I actually,
I was first
get him down here.
hired to be a presenter of what I still think was the world's first television series about wine. It was called The Wine Program.
First, the champagne, the best way of ingesting carbon dioxide in the world.
We were once at lunch with Tony Blair when he was president, and he said that he used to rush back in the evenings to watch jazzes.
At that stage, the 80s were a completely mad decade when they came me. We got married in 81. We had our first child in 82. I made my first television series. I think I wrote 4 books, at least in the 80s, if not 5.
Couldn't say no to anything. They had to take everything on.
My generation was absolutely determined to prove that we could be mothers and successful career people. So when the Masters of Wine said to me in 83, how about doing the exam in 84, I should have said no. Nick said, for heaven's sake, don't. All my friends and family said don't. I stood to lose so much more by failing than I stood to gain by passing.
I think becoming an MW was more difficult, which is expecting our second child.
But much to my amazement, I did pass the first time.
You know, a bottle of wine is a bottle of wine to us, but actually it's the stories behind the wine that she's unearthed.
A red Burgundy, 1959. The name of the vineyard is so glorious. It's Les Amoureuses, the lovers, the female lovers. It's been lying, who knows how long, in the cellars of the late John Avery, fellow master of wine. And his family, after he died, they put most of his wine collection into crystals to sell. But one of them remembered that this particular wine was the one that was made for me and held back from the sale. It was so nice of them.
I mean, honestly, I can't imagine having my first bottle of wine that changes me being burdened. You can't even afford it today.
What's the gold by Emerald 59 worth? It's priceless. I mean, if there was a dollar there, probably it'd be $10,000.
Well, it's certainly a relic, that's for sure.
just like me, a relic.
What I loved about this wine when I first tasted it, it was a million times better than student plot
have lined up my birds more and got them more. I would have said that's one of them, but
I'm so glad I don't.
You gotta play with the
Which is a marvellous one, isn't it? Ruby, garnet, more slightly bluer.
I honestly, I thought it was a little bit
rich, isn't it?
I thought at the very
that
least
is open for
I would have been like,
But almost you could feel it, they've got wildflowers, as long as it's a touch of roses there. It's right.
Yeah.
You don't sound like about the spot.
oh, this is the Kate that brought the under. The Kate that involved in something about
Fred was one of the most legendary restaurants in America, the Sardine Factory in Monterey, California.
It's taking a really long time to
was
look.
fantastic at the time. It was all
Say, are we gonna
French,
miss out on this
Italian,
Steam Squad?
European. And the last page,
Nah,
those
bro,
are
Steam
still about
Squad is
early
strong.
60s, 70s.
It's
The last
probably
page
some
were
kind of
American
serial killer though.
wines.
Just the, it's a
Now, that
huntress.
restaurant was,
Oh god.
it was crazy. It was fine dining. And that was
God,
kind of a
it's
new
Erie
thing.
Head.
I mean,
Steve,
there's a
if
few
you can hear
restaurants
me,
in
I think it's
Monterey,
Erie
but
Head.
And then
There's
Cannon
no
Row started booming, and Ted calls me up and he says, I'm going to show you
God.
something. Takes me
A
down this
huntress
beautiful wine cellar
willingly
underground.
takes themselves
Gorgeous,
RPD
huge,
unless they're Erie Head.
empty. Why don't you come take this job, come back and fill it up
got
and build me
something
the
else
greatest wine cellar in
crazy
America?
up their sleeves. I refuse to believe.
Pretty good challenge.
Otherwise,
So here
I don't
was
trust
this
it.
guy,
It's sus.
big guy.
It's weird. I don't like it.
Who was just
I don't like it.
championing fine wine and putting it on his list. Nobody else
Yes,
that I knew of
Maybe that's why.
in this part
I'm
of the
scared.
country was doing.
Does she have another one?
We were one of the first restaurants in
She's
the
not.
world.
Oh no, she is. Okay.
We took
I was gonna say if she doesn't raise
the
a hatchet,
wines
then
and
maybe she's not.
incorporated the
She's going for the wooden
Cabernets
box place.
with the Cabernets in Europe. We just put them on the same page, the French and the American and the equivalent. Well, the wine people who used to do the wine list said they'd laugh us out of the business. I said, really?
How many has I been?
I said, well, let them laugh us out of the
I think
business.
there was 2 here.
And it became a huge success.
The one that hit me makes 3. There's one that missed me, and the other one has 4. So she might have one more. I can't remember.
He
if
built
I...
one of the
Oh, no, she
deepest
threw one
and
at
most
Mickey Mouse,
complex wine lists that this country's ever seen.
No, I fucked it up.
And of course, we won the Wine Spectator Awards.
Oh,
And
it's
we
a
got all
shadow step.
kinds of recognition under his leadership.
The Wine Spectator Grand Award is
They
the
should've kept
brass
running in my
ring
little
that
palette over there.
wine-savvy
Maybe they should've
restaurateurs
played
are
the
going
drums.
for.
There was a lot of competition.
It's like a take on like the Bongo Cat one with like what's happening.
In order to get a grand award,
like that, but it's Mr. Bino back there, except
have
he has
to
a fork and a knife in his
arguably
hand. He's got a
have
plate in front of him.
the
His
best
chat's always begging
example
for food,
of a
so.
particular region in your wine
Sometimes I
list
can.
in the world.
We made it every
You always
year
go back.
during my tenure.
There
This
are
so it never
restaurateurs that
lasts.
swear by the
I've
fact
always
that
been a night owl myself.
their
I've
wine
never been able
profits
to like
doubled
wake up early morning.
the year that they got it.
You
It
had
doesn't
to
happen.
constantly keep rethinking, rechanging, and moving things around,
Chat, no
acquiring
food
new
for
things,
chat. Get outta here.
keeping an eye on new regions that might be coming
Yeah, he's in
along
a
that
little
you
table,
want to
he's
be
got a
there
little
first.
plate, so fork and
Restaurant
knife.
owners began to look at wine as
Remain
a
mostly 'cause you
profit
don't do well in a
center,
group.
and one of the reasons that you